What's going on, YouTube? Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning from any part of the world. This is Tony HP, and thank you so much for being here today. This is the first video of my new series called Autism Asperger Success. And the purpose of the next videos are going to be uh, to help people that have autism, from all levels in the spectrum, and also including Asperger and talk about ways in which um, we can help our autistic and Asperger population, especially our autistic and Asperger adults, to be successful in our society today. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation. As I said, I proclaim myself no expert, of any expertise. All my purpose is to have this open forum in which I'm going to talk about different ideas, what's going on with the employment situation with autistic and Asperger adults, and finding solutions, finding ways to help us, to help the autistic Asperger population in overcoming the challenges that they're currently facing right now in the marketplace. As I said, I would like to have this conversation, this open forum with all of you. So any questions, any concerns, any reply or anything that you may or may not agree with what I say, I open that discussion. So let us begin. And the first thing I want to begin with is to talk about briefly about the employment situation right now with the autistic Asperger adults. We all know, if many of you know that people with autism and Asperger face enormous challenges in the marketplace, in society today, in terms of getting a job. And one of the main reasons why is because there's this myth out there that instead of looking at people with autism as their great as an asset, they see people with autism as a liability. And I talked about this in a couple of videos ago as to whether autism is asset or liability. And the truth of the matter is that autism is our greatest asset. It may not, this is may, It's something that you may or may not agree with right now, but if you look deep inside of you, talking to people that have autism from different levels and people with Asperger's, you know that you may have this, but you have something to contribute, and that's what I want. My purpose with this videos is to help you in finding ways to be successful, and that's what I will try to do, starting with this first video. And the situation right now is very sad because, for example, 90% of adults with autism and Asperger's are unemployed in the United States. Just imagine that, 90%, which unfortunately is not talk. They don't talk about that a lot. And in fact, and one of the things that's been my criticism with autism awareness is they focus about, most of the focus is on the children with autism, but there's not a lot of focus with autistic adults, with Asperger adults. And I want to be able to find way to raise that awareness, because what's going to happen with our talking right now to parents, what's going to happen to your son, to your daughter with autism, with Asperger, if you're not there? Would they be able to take care of themselves? It's a very concern. There's a lot of concern right now with families, not only here in the United States but around the world, as to what is going to happen to their children with autism and any other disability too. So I read an article a couple of days ago from Puerto Rico, in which they talk about this, people, adults with disabilities, not only autism, but people with disabilities having challenges of having more an independent life. And it really, it was very sad to read the different stories of how these people were not getting support, or they were not having access to programs that can help them learn and get the skills necessary, and all the help that they can get to have a more independent life. You have parents at at their senior age, 60, 70, 80-year-olds, taking care of their adult kids, their adults, adult children. There was this case of this mom who is 80 years old, taking care of her 42 or 43-year-old daughter, and it's very frightening. It's very concerned in terms of what's going to happen with this, with our people, with our sons, with our daughters, with our brothers, with our sisters that have disabilities. So, in terms of this area, there's been a lot of myths as to why they don't hire people, going back to people with the autism spectrum, because of their weaknesses, that they can be a liability, lack of problems with social skills, and working in a fast-paced environment. There's all this myth, real, kind of concerns, but also myths. And it's time for us to be able to find a realistic way to change that misconception out there that people with autism are in trouble. Which, in contrary, people with autism can be your greatest employee or greatest entrepreneurs. So, in terms of my research so far, I understand we have different nonprofit organizations that have provided a network of resources to help people with disabilities, especially with people with autism, to get jobs and all that kind of stuff. But the services have been very limited. There's not much out there that is really helping these people, helping helping the people with autism, adults with autism and Asperger, to be successful, to be able to have a much better high quality of life. So, this is something that we need to not only raise awareness, but also we need to address with effective and efficient solutions. And the greatest example out there right now is the Rising Tide Car Wash Company. They took the initiative. They saw, the owner has his son with autism, high function, autism, and they had the same question: what is going to happen to to his son when he's not there anymore? And that was a serious concern. So he took, he alongside his other son, took the initiative of creating a company to be able to employ people with autism, because to demonstrate to society that people with autism can be your greatest asset for your company, and can be the great assets in our society today. And they have been successful. I saw an interview a couple months ago that one of the owners said of Rising Tide said that without our people with autism, we would not be we would not be successful. Period. Because they focus on providing this opportunity to our to the autistic adults, to the Asperger adults. So that's a great example of a great company raising awareness in this issue, to be that way we can create opportunities to help our people with people with autism and Asperger be successful. So, as I said, right now we need to do something. We need to create this program. Finding ways to realistically train our autistic and Asperger population to be successful. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about what will be like the steps that we that can be taken towards towards creating like a roadmap, whether yourself watching right now have autism or Asperger in all different levels, or whether you're a parent and you're worried about your your adult children with autism and Asperger. That's trying to find a way to create like a roadmap so they can be successful, whether it's not necessarily getting a job, but more important, if it isn't. My purpose is next video to talk about the first steps that can be taken towards helping people, adults with autism and Asperger, to be successful, whether it's working for a great company or to be an entrepreneur, which specifically raising even more awareness of people with, adults with autism, people with autism and Asperger's becoming entrepreneurs. So, so I'm gonna talk about that, you know, next video. I'm gonna talk about ways to start, you know, things that we can do right now to help our people with autism and Asperger's on their way to success and a high quality of life. So I want to thank you all for being here today. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to, you have anything that you want to share with us, write down below, so that way we can have a healthy discussion. Because this is a very right now, my life right now, this is something that I pledge myself to work more closely. I've been very fortunate to be able to graduate from college, to be able to have years of experience in customer service, which customer service is like the job that is not for people with autism and Asperger's. And I want to be able to find a way and working together towards helping other people with autism and Asperger's to be successful in life. So I'm going to talk about more of this in detail on the next video. I want to thank you all for being here today. And if you have any questions, just write down below on the comment section. So thank you very much, and have a great day. And this is Tony HB and signing off. Have a good day. Bye.